Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. Hope everybody's doing well today. My name is Carrie and I'm a full-time Elliott wave trader in the crypto and forex markets. Today's video is going to be an update on Bitcoin and ETH. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just the way that I see the market and I intend to trade it. All right, so we are on Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. I am going to quickly go over a question that was asked, and I promised that I would answer it in this video. The question was asked about our wave 4 here. So I am looking at this right now until I am proved wrong that this is a wave 1, a 2, a 3. We're making wave 4, and then we're going to go up for wave 5. Okay? If our wave 4 comes down into this wave 1, it will invalidate this as being this count, okay? Because a wave 4 is not allowed to come into a wave 1. So if that happens, I will be looking at the count is actually like this. And that this was a 5th wave, and this 4 was over here. Okay? That our 5 is here. Okay? And that at the top here is actually a higher degree 3rd. And then what actually will happen is that we will come down for a higher degree 4th. Now, will we tank to 0? No. We have so much support here, okay, that I don't think it would ever make it past it. But that's what I would be leaning, that we're making a higher degree 4th that would look like a bear market. I don't think that we would ever break this whole level in here. And when we get this 5th, it's going to look like a massive bull run. Okay? When we finally get this 5th, it's going to just be the biggest thing you ever saw. It's just going to be a huge bull run, okay? But that's only if the 4 comes into the 1. Otherwise, I see this totally as our 4. Okay? And we're going up for the 5th. So I hope that answered the question. Okay? So looking at the RSI quickly, we've done a really nice job of holding the 40. What we need to watch out for here, as see over here, when we tried to rally, we were hitting the 50 and the 60. Over here, we were able to get our head above 60 just a little bit, but then we came back down. What needs to happen here is we need to be careful about getting rejected in here. If we do, and I'm kind of expecting that to happen based on what the count that's going on here, but what needs to happen is when we come back down, we need to find support on that 40. And then kick on up, get above 70, find support on 60, and get ourselves way up there. Okay? This is a ways away. I will update before then, but this is kind of the transition that we need to make. On the daily time frame, it is the same exact kind of transition. Okay? When we were running here, we came out of the 30, we pushed up, found support on the 40, pushed up, found support on the 60, and up we went. When we came back down, we found support on 50, pushed back up, came back down, found support on 40, pushed back up, All right. Ever since the top here is when we transitioned. Okay. We came down, we broke 50, got rejected at 75, came down lower to the 40, got rejected at the 70, came down lower to the 30, got rejected even lower, and lower we went. Okay. Now we have made a very good job of coming back up into the 80s. So what needs to happen here, and as you can see, we do have bearish divergence here between this pivot and this pivot, between this pivot and this pivot. So when we come down, we want to see it find support on the 40. And if we want to transition out of this downtrend, then what do? We push up, find support higher, push up, and on it goes, okay? All right, let's go down to the lower time frame and take a look at what's going on. In my prior video, 2 videos ago, I think it was, I went over some corrections and how they pan out here. I would definitely take a look at that video because it was very educational. So I talked about in my video that if we got high enough here, that we could wipe that count of this being a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 off the table. Where what starts with 5 ends with 5, and then we would rally, and then we'd come down for another 5 waves. That was talked about in pretty much all my videos, okay? I feel we have pushed up high enough, close enough, that we can wipe that off the table now. That ugly count that we didn't want can be wiped off the table. Let's talk about this correction here. I still see this as 3 waves. I still see this as 3 waves. And now we're making 1, 2, 3. This is a running flat. And now we're making 5. I think we do possibly have another hit to the upside that would fill that gap. This blue box is the gap. When we pull a fib extension on this, we could possibly get up here to the 2.236, right around 50,000. Now, I'm not 100% that we're going to get another hit to the high, but I'm kind of leaning that way. We're holding 60 here, 60. I think we'll probably get another hit. Okay. Now, what happens after that is a couple of things can happen. We can have our 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, and then at that point, 2 things can happen. Because, let me see if we hit the 618. That's very important. We're very close. Let me go to linear. No. Okay, so on log, if we get that other hit to the high and we fill this gap, we will hit the 618. Okay? So if you're asking, well, why do we have to hit the 618? Well, I'll tell you why here now. Let me get rid of this, make this a cleaner chart. Get rid of this. Okay. So to have 3, 3, it has to hit the 618 to get 5 waves to the downside. And it looks like we're going to do it. And pretty much we're close enough. Okay, so what's going to happen here is we're either going to get 5 or we're going to get 3. And all the difference there is labeling. This is one scenario. Okay. And then maybe we get lucky, we make a higher low, we protect this low, and then we go. Okay. That's one scenario that can happen. The other way that this can happen is that we make 3, 3, and then it gets more complex. And I have something called ABCS to death. So then we make 3, and depending on how deep that comes, if it comes to the 618 or below, then we could get 5 to the upside, or we get 3. And it gets more complex, and then we get this partner leg over here to the downside. Now take a look at that. If this scenario happens, we've made 3, 3, and then 3. We could be creating a triangle. And that's a little too high up there, but you get the picture here. And triangles do happen in 4th waves. So keep that in mind. If we make 3 and then we get 3 and then we get 3, that we could be making a triangle, but I'll update way before then. Okay. Just wanted to throw the triangle option out there. Okay, so as I always say, the higher the better. So if we're going to come down in 3 and then go up, the higher the better, because that means this partner leg is going to be higher. But we could just do 3 and it be over. But I'm kind of leaning that this is going to get more complex. All right. So remember, we have bearish divergence here. We may get another hit to the high. And that's the way I'm leaning, guys. So let's go on over to ETH. All right, so ETH is pretty much the same thing. Whoops. I see this as a 3 wave. 3 waves. And this move, honestly, I'm kind of leaning that it's a corrective climb. When we pull the fibs on it, because of the way it has overlapped and just been very ugly, climbed in this channel, just all this overlap, all the 3 wave moves inside of here, I'm just leaning that this is a corrective climb. I do think it's possible, just like Bitcoin, that we have another hit to the high. May even get lucky and get up here to the 2.236. Okay, so what happens after that? Well, the same exact thing as Bitcoin. We either come down in 3 or 5, and that's the end of this. And then we moon, or it gets more complex and we come down in 3, and then we could go up in 5, and then we finally get this partner leg over here. But the whole goal with either way that this pans out is to do our best to protect these lows and make a higher low, because that would be very bullish and we could moon out of here. Okay, so I hope I explained that pretty simply. Now, there's always a very bullish count, okay, where we just go. I don't see it. Okay, I don't see it, but it's always possible. So if we pull back, we get another hit to the high, we just pull back this, we make bullish divergence, and then we just make another 5 waves, and we pull back, and we just go, then somewhere down in here, I am not seeing something correctly. Now, I've seen some counts where, and I'm going to end with this because I know this video is getting long. I have seen some counts where they're calling this a 1 and a 2. Or maybe it's 1 and then they're bringing the 2 way over here. I see this move right here as a 5-wave move, as an A, a B, and a C. That's a problem to be able to call that a 1-2. But even if you were to do 1, 2, and call this a 1 and a 2, and call it a 1-2, 1-2, and now we're mooning, your second 1-2 is never bigger than your first 1-2. Because you've got a 1, a 2, then you get a big third wave, you get a fourth, and then you get a fifth. Inside of here, you get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. This 1-2 is always smaller than this 1-2. And that's not the case here. So that's why I'm not leaning that this is some kind of 1-2. Okay? Could I be wrong? Absolutely. I mean, I don't claim to be Miss Know-It-All by any means. So, there's always a possibility that I'm missing something down here. But guys, I really am leaning that we're making a 3-wave move and that we're going to come down after that, and we'll have to wait to see how we come down. Do we come down corrective, or how do we come down? Okay? But I do think we do probably have another hit, and they're probably going to close this gap. But be careful, because you know how it is when everybody's screaming we're going to close the gap. We don't end up closing the gap. But I'm kind of leaning that we will. All right. Oh, my daughter dared me to wear these, wherever they are, headbands. So I did. So if you made it to the end of the video, I just might wear these a different one every video. So make a comment about that. And I thank you very much, guys. I'll see you on the next one.